Yeah.
Welcome to the Take It Home podcast, the podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. I am joined by three beautiful guests and one very handsome special guest. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'll take the hot tag, Doc. It's the outlaw Zach Hendricks. Find me all over social media at Z Hendricks Brand. Or if you're just like your mama, if you love me and Doc together, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Country Air Official, or shoot us a tweet at Country Air Brand. And don't forget to subscribe to the new Country Air Official YouTube channel.
Loving us together is the preferred way of loving us.
I'll go next. Gunner Wicks. You can find me at Gunner Wicks on all of the social medias.
And I'm Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the ref brand. And we're bringing back the # Take It Home podcast.
Yes, yes. Waffles all around. Waffles, waffles, waffles. And well, yeah, you don't know anything about that. You will have to get caught up on the podcast lingo. And that laughing is our very handsome guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm the very handsome guest here. My name is Rayvin Raddix, and you can find me on Rayvin Raddix everything: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. YOLO.
Awesome. Yes, we are joined by the recently debuted Rayvin Raddix. We will definitely get into more of her story of her debut later, but we will go ahead and just keep this thing rolling. Perch, why don't you give us our banger of the week?
And this week's banger of the week hit home, and it hit hard over the weekend. We had nothing but maybe the coldest, snowiest winter weekend for pro wrestling, and it was crazy from setups to teardowns to driving. But one song hit, and it hit home, and I was singing it in the locker room right next to you, Dre. And this week's banger of the week is Santeria by Sublime. It's nothing but that island state of mind and that SoCal vibe, especially when we're living here in Wisconsin. Gets us by, keeps us going.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to the female earlier, and I was like, it's surprisingly warm here at 1 degrees. That's just that Midwest mindset. But yeah, the Sublime over the weekend really did hit home and really did help battle this cold front we've been having for like the last 2 weeks of just being in the negatives.
This weekend was the first time I ever brought gloves to set up. Good idea. Gotta do that more often.
I have been doing that all winter. This is my first winter doing that. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner.
I learned about that lesson. Like, I always saying, I'm like, yeah, this would be a lot better with gloves. I'll do this next time, and next time never comes.
Yo.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, Sublime, yes. And Bert, you actually did put me in the mood to listen to more Sublime, and it was just very weird because my friends were also talking about Sublime earlier today, or specifically Rome, and it looks like he put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah, maybe a little COVID action, and I'd be lying if I didn't think about Sublime, especially Sublime with Rome. Every time I pass by Summerfest, driving into camp, driving over the Hone Bridge in Milwaukee, pass over Summerfest every time, and the amount of times I've seen Sublime with Rome at Summerfest is countless. So, always gets me in that good mood, that summer vibe, that Midwest living with that West Coast mind state.
Yeah, I've only seen them once, back in Woodbridge. Where do they come? Nissan Pavilion, or it might have been like live. It might have been the live event center by then. I forgot what they changed it to, but definitely a good time. Those concerts are always great, always bangers, good summer vibes.
Absolutely. And hit home for this week's banger of the week.
Definitely, definitely. And as we go from the banger of the week, we will try to talk about what bangers did we watch in wrestling this week. This is where we, look
Raven?
Raven. Raven.
at CJ, but
It's all good.
I'll go ahead and cut that out. But Raven, I'd be very interested to know, leading up to your debut, had you been watching any wrestling over the past week?
To be honest, dude, the only wrestling that I've been watching is on YouTube from back like 1990 and like 2000s.
Okay. What were you
Yeah,
watching?
a lot of Eddie Guerrero. I've been watching a lot of Eddie Guerrero stuff and Lita, China, a little bit of Jeff Hardy, and then John Moxley when he started. So when you were on there, yeah.
Nothing
I
wrong
was watching.
with that.
I was watching like what this death match that John Moxley had like outside. That match was crazy. I think it was like CCW.
Yep, CCW. Where have they been?
Hmm.
I know. Place I want to go to.
I mean, have they been running shows? I haven't seen anything from them in forever.
There's like once in a blue moon, I'll see them post something on their like Instagram story, but I haven't heard anything about shows lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who would like to go next and talk about what they've been watching?
I guess I could go. Last night I watched NXT pay-per-view. I think the match I was looking forward to the most was the men's finals for the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Was a really fun match. I actually didn't really watch a lot of Grizzled Young Vets before that match. Like I mean, I watched the people, but honestly, I'm gonna probably actually look them up. Like I was really enjoyed the style, the tag, and with me and you being tag guys now, like just seeing like all different various tags. MSK, the Rascals, those are guys we've met, have given us great advice, have given me advice before I did the Warrior show. Like, so guys, like you kind of have a little connection to because you're like, oh, these guys like are actually good guys, good brothers who take the time out and like don't like they like worry about like the future of wrestling. They like make sure they take the time to give us advice. So it's great to see these guys debut in the Dusty Rhodes Classic and go all the way through. Anyone who didn't watch it, sorry for the spoiler, but undefeated Dusty, and they won the Dusty Rhodes Cup, so that's awesome. Other than that, I've been watching a lot of 04 and 05 pay-per-views. When Punk started coming to WWE when he was a part of the ECW brand and stuff in there, and that's about it for me.
No, yeah. I'll go ahead and take that hot tag. The NXT takeover last night was awesome. Going to that tag match between MSK and Grizzled Young Vets. As we've said before, we're huge fans of Rascals or MSK or whatever you'd like to call them. When I was getting into watching independent wrestling more, and I started watching English independent wrestling, the three people that I watched the most were Mark Haskins, Rampage Brown, and Zach Gibson. Zach Gibson has been consistently like my top 5 promos the past 5 years. Just on his entrance when he comes out, called himself Liverpool's #1, soon to be Dusty Rhodes Classic winners. Love them. Love him. And then as Grizzled Young Vets, love their tag team work together.
Oh yeah. I'm always a guy who appreciates great hair, and not Eli Drake. Even though Eli Drake showed up to NXT, huge. Not really sure how I feel about LA Knight, but I'll probably come around in a month and like blow over. But I don't know. Eli Drake was a great name. I'm glad to see what he's doing.
I like the name LA Knight. I think it's more important that it has the same syllables as Eli Drake. I think that'll be what's most important as far as like not changing his promo style.
I don't know why. I just like when I hear LA Knight, I just think of a hockey team.
I mean, it definitely has that commercial feel, like that people in a corporate office came up with this name.
Oh,
Um,
well,
but I enjoy it.
A picture of the Chavez Ravine with a nice sunset on an LA background with a palm tree and kind of a neon looking sky when I hear LA night.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he has made such a career as Eli Drake. It is going to be weird for a lot of people to hear the new name, but I enjoy it. Something else I enjoyed a lot was that Finn Balor, oh God, what Pete Dune, and all the shenanigans that happened afterwards. That was a really good technical match.
Yeah, but Kushida and Gargano also had a great match. Phenomenal.
Yep.
And I don't know if anyone else got worked, but I didn't notice that Austin Theory was missing until Johnny Gargano went for the high five. And then I was like looking, I was like, oh, Theory's gonna run in and attack Kushida. And I was like, no, he didn't do that. So I had to rewind and I was like, oh, Dexter Lumis got him. I didn't notice that the first time around. So I definitely wasn't paying attention or got worked, whatever you want to call it.
That was definitely done very well. And Dexter Lumis has taken over Austin Theory's Twitter, I believe.
I love it.
So I think he still has him kidnapped, is what we're going with.
I like it.
That match was good. I was a little disappointed in the result. I don't like what they're doing with Kushida. I just think he's better than what they've been treating him. But that was definitely a phenomenal match between him and Gargano. I mean, really, the whole pay-per-view was good. And no, nothing to complain about. I knew they were going to have to find some way to get O'Reilly away from Cole, but I did not necessarily see a turn right here. Very surprising. Very surprising.
Makes you wonder where Roderick and Fish will fall into. Hopefully they keep Fish with O'Reilly.
And I think Roderick sold that amazingly, being torn with not knowing what to do. Perch, you're on mute.
Fuck out of the way.
The look on Roderick Strong's face over Adam Cole's shoulder was phenomenal after he took that super kick on Kyle O'Reilly. What great storytelling and just emotion from that moment, and you could see it all on Roderick's face.
Yeah, they definitely played that very well. And the match was good. Pete Dunne Balor. I really like Pete Dunne in ring. He sold his knee great. He didn't land the Daniel Bryan backflip very cleanly, and Balor was right on top of him. It was very good psychology in it. Dunne working the fingers and holding on to them at any point he could and just not letting go, being a vicious pit bull. I really enjoyed it.
I did feel sorry for Tony Storm, Mercedes Martinez, and Io Shirai with the table. I was wondering where they were going to go with that. That was an unfortunate event.
Yeah, that's definitely disappointing. And I think as workers now, we find that a little bit more disappointing because we know they probably thought of something cool and that was supposed to be the spot of the match, probably. As far as what else I've watched, I finally watched the John Moxley and Lance Archer versus Kenta and Kenny Omega. I thought it was structured very interesting. I guess just how would they play with the cameras, because two of them would be gone out of camera view for a while and then just come brawling in from the side somewhere. I just thought that was interesting from a camera work perspective. But the match was good. Kenta had the crazy spot of they're up on the entranceway. Archer comes with a clothesline. He ducks the clothesline, jumps off the stage to double stomp John Moxley, who's on a table below. Loved it. Don't think I will take that jump though. that looks like a killer way to injure feet, which I have been having trouble with lately.
That was a knee ready to blow out at any second.
Yeah, crazy moment.
Such a cool moment though. That whole setup and that whole scene was chaos, and every little bit they put in there was awesome to see. And that moment I didn't see coming.
Definitely. Also watched New Japan throughout the week. Got to see the rematch of Kota Ibushi versus Sonata, which was definitely a banger. I think I liked their first match earlier this year a little bit more, but I did really enjoy Sonata reversing the straight jacket suplex to hit Ibushi with the Kamagoye for a good near fall. That was enjoyable. Hiromu and Sho put on a banger. Hiromu and Sho put on a banger for the light heavyweight title. Hiromu still came out on top, but he's been working very hard. And I do like that it looks like Naito is trying to come after just the Intercontinental title. So it looks like they're starting to make moves to tease separating those belts. I know you've been wondering about it, Zach.
I want those belts to separate. I don't like them together.
Thought it was, but we'll see. I don't see Naito winning it, but I think this is where they're going to start planting the seeds. I think Ibushi's going to hold it till Wrestle Kingdom 2022.
I mean, if they do even if they just do a triple threat match where or a two fall match, like first falls for one belt, second falls for the second, I would not be opposed to that.
Yeah, but then what about the third fall? Because you know how match logic works.
Just make it a triple threat and then fuck over Ibushi. Have Naito win one, have the other guy, whoever wins the tournament, win the second one, and bye Ibushi. Sorry, love you, but come back for blood later.
All right.
I don't know. Just figure out a way to get rid of those belts together.
Yeah.
And the reason why I would say this only for New Japan, not other promotions, because New Japan does so many tournaments and makes those belts have a value to it that each title I feel like has some value. There's value to all of it because I think New Japan gets me invested because wins matter and it builds up to hey, this is where you're going. But when you have the Intercontinental and the World title together, it's just I don't know. Other promotions
you're getting less.
Just my thoughts.
That's fair. Well, that's all I've been watching. Gunner, Perch.
I'll go. I also watched NXT TakeOver. Overall, thought it was a solid show. I liked the end and the turn at the end. All the matches were either good or great. I think it's probably the best pay-per-view of 2021 so far. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Other than that, I have watched the 1995 King of the Deathmatch tournament final with Cactus Jack and Terry Funk.
What brought you to that?
I don't really even know, to be honest. I was just really bored, and I know that match is kind of regarded as a special match and a really good death match. So I decided to give it a view, and I thought it was good. Maybe I thought it was going to be better than what it was, or maybe I'm kind of numb to death matches from seeing a lot of ICW stuff in person. But yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Still entertaining though.
Very
And
interesting.
Then I've just been watching behind the scenes stuff, documentaries and whatnot a lot. I saw the Bianca Belair one a couple weeks ago. What other ones did I see?
I did watch the Yokozuna one finally.
Yes, I watched that one too. That was interesting. I really didn't know too much about him as the man behind the character, and I really haven't seen too many of his matches either. So it was kind of cool to look at that. And then I also watched some Yokozuna matches, I guess, the two after that. So yeah, it's cool stuff.
I was a big fan of the Bonsai Drop.
Yeah, dude, I saw this one video or a clip on Instagram, I think it was, where he just absolutely murdered a guy with that. Like, I think he sat on his face and he didn't break his fall with his feet at all. And it looked like the dude died. Like, he just like got consumed into his ass cheeks and he was gone. It was insane.
It's a horrible.
I felt sorry. Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's wrestling. That's
Wouldn't be
wrestling.
surprised if you like cracked his skull or something. It was unreal.
Oh yeah, sometimes you do the Mick Foley and get your ear caught in the ropes, and sometimes Yokozuna just sits on your face and doesn't catch himself.
I wish that upon no man.
I wonder if he said something in back before the match that led him to get the business end.
Maybe because after he sat on him, he like sat there on him for another like 5 or 6 seconds, even after the 3 count, and you could tell the guy was like struggling underneath, talking to the ref, like trying to tell him to get off, and he wouldn't get off. And man, I felt bad for him.
I can imagine they're putting their match together in the back, and the guy says to Yoko, "So this is what I was thinking."
Yoko is just I'm gonna sit on your face.
Definitely got a little chuckle like when they had Hulk Hogan talking about how he's like, yeah, I asked Vince what the main event was a Mania, and like I suggested like, what if I come out and he pretty tried to make it sound like he didn't pitch the idea of him taking the belt off right at the end, but like it was like, all right, bro, you definitely just pulled like what you do best in big time Joko to get one more run before you left.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that he didn't try to phrase that better. To
Like,
not
you
put
put
himself like I mean we all like I mean I guess if you've watched like any documentary on Hulk Hogan nowadays, it is pretty well known that man always went into business for himself. Understandable when you are like the top wrestler in the world for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But come on, dogs. Come on.
Hey kid, is this your first world title? Cool. You're having it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and because I've been going through the WrestleMania rewatches, so I watched that one and I was very disappointed. All right, Gunner, anything else?
No, that's about it.
All right, we'll go ahead and kick it on over to Perch.
Oh man, this was a pretty good week for wrestling, and the most anticipated week of wrestling I can remember waiting for since back in the old days of Monday Night Raw when we were growing up. The big main event that I was looking forward to was that AEW finale with Kenny and Kenta against Moxley and Lance Archer. Just knowing that it was going to be a all out, balls to the wall hardcore match, and Falls Count Anywhere is all they needed to label it as an unsanctioned Falls Count Anywhere match. And that was enough anticipation to keep me going through the work week. Talk about negative 10 degrees outside all week. Well, at least I had that one to look forward to. And like you were saying, Dre, before that match did not disappoint. I was a big fan. A great matchup. They had Kenny with the Good Brothers last week against Moxley and Death Triangle. And this week they pair Moxley up with Lance Archer. So that was just fucking awesome going into it. What a great monster.
Yeah, I love Lance Archer.
I like Lance Archer. I just have a question. Like, was it just like they picked a guy, like, or was there like a reason why Lance Archer was intertwined there? Like, I might have missed that. I was just, oh shit, my bad.
They do a good job with the continuity. They do a good job with the continuity from week to week, and they'll make the stories make sense. But for the most part, I think it's just trying to fit the right guy in the right situation. However, talk about the right guy for the right situation. Bringing Jake the Snake into the mix, into the scene, into our show right there was unbelievable.
Even as old as he was, that was a slick way to get into that short arm clothesline.
Dude, highlight of the thing, they go balls to the wall outside, all around the entire building, all the way back, and just like a good old Falls Count Anywhere match, they work their way right back to the center of the ring. Jake the Snake hits that short arm clothesline on Carl Anderson and just drills it. And like I was saying, that the week of anticipation and going through, day to day and the snow and everything, thinking, oh man, I wonder if Jake the Snake's gonna get involved. And I'd love to see a short arm clothesline or a DDT or it just will lead you to think. And sure enough, dude delivered a great short arm clothesline. And,
Yeah, I was thinking he was going for the DDT, but I was pleasantly surprised with the clothesline.
It got me out of my seat, and it, just like they've been doing, they carry the momentum right into the next thing, and before you know it, Big Doc Gallows hits him with a shot, and they get Jake the Snake compromised, and they're setting up for Kenny to just take off his head, and out of nowhere comes John
Actually,
Moxley with a
very much in
barbed
plain
wire.
sight. I did not like that camera angle. Like, I see you, Moxley, with your bat.
Well, coming from a man who wears the stripes, I'm good at not seeing what you're supposed to not see. So didn't take away anything from me, and that timing was perfect. And he comes in with good old trusty
Yeah.
barbed wire baseball bat. Another thing throughout the week, I'm like, man, would love to see that barbed wire bat get in the mix. Whenever Moxley's been against the wall, he's had that trusty weapon with him.
Definitely. Another good spot was Lance going for the choke slam on Carl and Carl hitting the gun stun on the left. That was a dope spot.
Yeah, just the energy in that match when the Good Brothers came in, it was just that whole series of events was awesome. The way they went into one move into another into the eventual finish, and I just thought that was great. Best main event I've seen this week. So that was my banger of the week. That kind of took up my attention. I loved it. But the other thing in wrestling that I've been looking at was a shout out to Brainbuster Photography. Michael Watson. He came out with a series of photo books and some picture zines from some shows and such from throughout the year, and just awesome photography. Brainbuster is one of my faves when it comes to photographers we've met on the road, and just to see the art and to see the whole sport of professional wrestling through his eyes and through his lens of whatever camera it is. Really cool. Pictures of wrestling for me have always been just as impactful as watching a match itself. So a couple of the shows I was thankful to be a part of too. So seeing some of the shots with the ring and the setup. One of them was from the Warrior Wrestling during the fall, and it was on the 50-yard line of the football field. So he's just got some awesome shots that show the whole scene that was going on through that weekend of events and that month. So just awesome photos, awesome stuff with great wrestlers in there and great people all around who went on to big things and have a great year this year. So was looking through that and kind of seeing all the stories there throughout the week and love using it as motivation, inspiration, and fueling that passion that we have.
Yeah, much love to the photographers. I was just thinking as you were going through that, we should try to do something to give them a shout out on one of these shows. They are definitely very important to the whole wrestling production. Can't do it without them.
Yeah, no doubt. It's one of those very important roles when it comes to the entire show, setting up the ring to tearing down the ring and everything in between. Pictures last forever. The show will go on that night, but pictures and videos will last forever. So to have the love for the individuals in the game of photography is much respect.
Especially the fact that when you get a great photographer, it's awesome. But not every show you go to has it, so you can't we can't like look back at be like, oh, how did it look? Like, you appreciate, like you said, you appreciate those moments, because then like for us, we like try to run our social media brands. Like we have stuff that we get up to date and stuff of that nature too.
Yeah. And for most of us, a very important person in that for our first time was Falcon Photography, good old Paulie, who took a certain someone's first promo pics this weekend. So why don't we go ahead and talk about what we did this weekend, Miss Rayvin?
Well, this weekend I debuted versus Evil Sierra, which is pretty cool. I looked up to her a lot because she was like one of the first people I talked to out of the women wrestling when I first joined. And then we ended up getting on the bad side, and obviously you see what happened. It was a pretty good match. I enjoyed my match. It was awesome.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the week leading up to the match? How were you feeling? What was training like?
Ooh. Well, I guess the week of the show coming up, the Tuesday at camp, I was in my head a lot, so I was getting distracted. But once certain people came up to me, like Perch and Gunner and Zach, when you guys like talked to me a little bit, I was just like, all right, I got this. And the rest of the week was actually pretty good. I got out of my head, and then the day of the show, I was like super nervous because I was afraid I was gonna like not remember anything in my life. But once I got out of those curtains, it was like a drug that hit me, and I was fine.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
What you go through that curtains, it's Raven and Sierra. It's you put everything else behind you.
Mm-hmm.
More important question: how are you feeling now after that phenomenal super kick? That looked good to you, but it looks great.
Well, it touched my face, so I felt pretty good.
It certainly does. No, yeah. Kicks touching your face, they certainly feel good.
The super kick was fine. I like to say that I enjoyed everything in that match. I can't stop watching it. I think everything's like very unbelievable right now. I still think I'm in a dream. So it's like I'm actually doing something I've been wanting to do my whole life, and it finally became true.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What surprised me is that that Thursday, a few days before the show, is you somehow survived not one but two matches against myself during camp on Thursday, and then you still went out and had a stellar performance. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know all of us are very proud to see you come so far and finally get that first match out of the way.
I mean, you go from like, when did you start? May?
I started May 25th.
Yeah, like you came in May super quiet to last Saturday. Like, just the transformation is phenomenal.
Yep. It's all thanks to you guys. You guys made something happen.
You didn't quit. That's on you.
Yeah, people can give you the tools. It's just how you use it. So that was all on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in a big year too, where a lot of people, quit a lot of things or changed a lot of things, made a lot of changes in their life. You made that big leap in the midst of this year, being last year, 2020, and you made that commitment and you stuck with it. And, you see that putting in hard work day in and day out isn't easy, but it makes you tougher and it makes you stronger. And the payoff is awesome. And it makes you want more too, I imagine.
Yeah. All the hard work ends up putting you somewhere in life.
Now,
yeah, it
what
is.
you got to do now is just keep doing it over again.
Yep, over and over and over. until the day you decide to quit.
Yeah.
Start a new journey.
No. But we are all very proud.
Thank you.
Guess I'll follow up just because like Gunner, since he had the name, like go over after us. But we were also on the show doing what your mom was favorite to do best, and that was a tag match. Doc and I wrestled Whiskey Bent and Hellbound. Started off just brawling. Match didn't go exactly as planned. That's not on us. It's on Ref Junior not doing what Ref Perch would do, and that's paying attention to someone pulling out a chain and
I
punching.
don't know. Ref Perch admitted earlier that he's not the best at paying attention.
Oh,
I
what
have
now? Sorry, I
He was
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Perch was not paying attention.
Well,
I have a bone to pick with Ref Perch, by the way, but we'll get to that later.
but yeah, we were doing what we do best, hit the 6-shot lullaby. About to get another W on Whiskey Bent and Hellbound, but instead, I guess they were able to do what they do, and that's not win fair, calling it out. You guys are big jack guys, but you guys call us boys, but yeah, you had to use a chain on Doc's face. I get it, Doc hits harder than any other guy in the ring, but
True.
the only way to knock him out is use
All time, I am without a doubt the biggest person in that ring. So it only makes sense that somebody as minuscule as Max Holiday would have to hide a chain in his pocket the entire match to sneak away with a win there at the end.
Yeah, it's fine because for those who were not at the show, they didn't hear the match announcement. March 13th at Bruce City Wrestling's, I don't know what it's called, Luck of the Irish. Is that what the show's called?
I believe that is what it's called.
All right, at Luck of the Irish, it will be your mama's favorite tag team stepping out of our element. First time ever. I don't know if Doc's had one. I've never had one. First time ever, a street fight. They want to play dirty. They want to keep bouncing us off the hardwood floor. They want to throw chains in Doc's face. Like, that's fine. Let's make it legal.
Yeah,
Because
I
if
mean,
they,
this would be my
they've shown their
my
cards.
try
We
to
haven't shown
talk to
cards.
people, but yeah, we can do this.
Hey, they've shown their cards. They show what they're about. Like, I don't think they realize, like, we know they're going to try and bump us off the floor. We know they're going to try to use weapons. They don't know how creative we can get.
Yep.
We got creative cleanly. Let's see how creative. They haven't seen how creative we get when it comes to weapons.
Yeah. Country Air going to show you how we get down and dirty. So why don't we go ahead and pass it off to Gunner, who had the big main event on Saturday.
Yep, I did. First time main eventing at the Elks Lodge for BCW. It was awesome for the most part. Pretty happy with the match overall, besides the outcome. Missed a big splash from the top rope, overshot a little bit. Still feeling that today. Was able to get Stacy up for a choke slam, but unfortunately that did not keep her down for the 3 count. Went for a spear. Ref Jerry does what he does best, gets in the way, and accidentally speared him.
He also dies very well.
What's that?
He also dies very well.
He does. Yep. Hitting him kind of felt like a hot knife going through butter. Wasn't really too much there. I didn't even know I hit somebody until after the fact and saw him on the mat, halfway dead. Wasn't really sure where the match was going to go from there. Then Ref Perch comes out, throws out the match, rings the bell, and it's over. And somehow Stacy still keeps her title. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I've ever seen a wrestling match and the ref gets knocked out, they always send a new one in there to finish the job, right? But this guy comes out and ends the match. So I think Perch has a little more something coming to him than what I did to him not last week, 2 days ago.
Hey, wrestling that goes around this round. Did you debut and choke slam Gunner like Perch 3 times on your debut? You think he's holding up some pent up rage and threw it out because of those your debuting choke slams?
Well, that was like over a year ago, and I think time heals all wounds. So No, I really don't think that impeded his decision making at all. Did it, Perch?
First of all, it was 2 choke slams. Second of all,
1, 2, 3, doesn't matter.
Definitely would have impeded his decision.
second of second of all, Ref Jerry brought me into this business. Not everybody knows, but when I first stepped foot into this business, and before I ever wore these stripes, I was brought into the world of refereeing by none other than Ref Jerry. So, as far as it goes, when it comes to a match or a card that I'm on with Jerry, he's almost like the Count Dracula. Like if he was the vampire and he bit me and made me a vampire, as soon as Jerry goes out, it's done. I can't step in. All the other vampires die. Like it's it's
so that's your excuse.
So you
That's
killed
what
his
you're going with.
master.
yeah, you killed my master, dude. Come on.
Okay,
Kill my sensei.
Let me tell you a
Oh.
story of when I first started wrestling. So I get to camp, and Perch is one of the first people that gives me lots of advice, a lot of inspiration, which kind of, I think, maybe goes out of his way a little bit to set me down the right path, make sure I succeed. So I kind of looked at Perch as not a Count Dracula, but a little bit of a mentor as sorts. And
You're Mr. Miyagi, if you will.
put him in a high place up in my head. Sure, we can go with that. So you can imagine how I felt when I finally had my main event, my moment that I've worked so hard for almost 2 years, and Perch comes out and he ends it like that. Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, there's a saying that we've had between each other from day one, and it's hey, don't fuck up my moment. And
You fucked up my moment.
I was just a little too afraid that you were gonna fuck up my moment first. So saw my opportunity and I took it.
Well,
However,
luckily,
Opportunity.
that being said,
Come
I
on, Mr.
respect and I stand by the decision I made. I also made it right. Not only did I make that decision, I didn't cower by that decision. I made that decision and I walked right in that ring and I told you right to your face what decision was made. Just to
and what
clarify.
happened?
Just to verify and clarify it. I did it like a man because you deserved it. You deserved an explanation. And yeah, I should have known better than to walk into a lion's den with the Midwest Slayer and the monster one-man riot squad Gunner Wicks. You choked me out of my shoes.
And you deserved every second.
The highlight of the night.
You choked me out of my damn shoes and my legs were kicking as I was 8 feet up in the air. I don't know. I was up there.
8, 12.
No.
Who's counting?
12. And luckily, Stacy Shadows was there and she, jumped into action. But I was startled to say the least. It took me a little bit to catch my breath. But yeah, it's just a day in the life of the business.
Yes.
Luckily, Stacy has a set of balls on her and thinks she's confident enough to take me on again. So next month, I have a chance to make this all right in another title shot. So make sure you guys get to the show. That title is mine, and I'm going to take it.
So at the end of the day, you got done right. You got your title shot back, and you got your hands on some extra people, and
Who's to say you're not going to screw up next month for me?
We'll have to stay tuned and see. Get your tickets.
Between what are my options? Jerry again as a ref. Don't want him for obvious reasons. Don't want you for obvious reasons. Might have to go with Junior. I don't know, but he might mess it up too.
Can we pull in Ref Joe Coley?
That's not a bad idea.
Bring in your own import ref.
Yeah. I think you need to talk to the front office.
That's also not a bad idea.
You have to
Huh?
Did you have Chucky ref?
I feel like he can't count to 3. He doesn't know numbers. I've been with him long enough to know that him and math just does not add up, pun intended.
Jokes.
But my DMs are open on all social media platforms, and if you would like to be my ref for next month, I will consider your application. So send them in.
Me. No, I'm just kidding.
Might be willing to get hit by a spear or choke slam. He's no hazard pay.
Yeah, Gutter looking for those hot ref DMs.
Let me tell you, they're not too saucy.
I don't know, Perch, you got a couple that, I might have to make a title card for one of these episodes. Got some saucy ref picks.
Yeah.
Wait, are you the art department, Doc? Did you just reveal it?
I am not the art department, but I do pay the art department, so I feel I'm welcome to make suggestions to the art department.
Wait, people get paid for this podcast?
The art department gets paid.
Not the talent?
Hey, I know where the talent is.
Definitely
Yeah,
not the
you're
art.
looking at him.
Art department. Guys work hard.
Yes.
Is that all you would like to say about your weekend, Gunner?
Yeah, I think I've aired my grievances.
You aired your grievances, murdered enough people. So, Perch, you've already defended yourself in the last segment of Saturday. Why don't you talk about the rest of your Saturday?
Yeah, the rest of the Saturday was pretty good. It was fun. We had the Dysfunction match against Salem Crane to open it up. Dysfunction as an opening match at BCW is kind of a staple in Wisconsin wrestling, and to experience it is always a fun time. So I like to be in the center of the ring for Dysfunction when his music hits, and the place going nuts. He's a guy I look up to, and especially in the Milwaukee area, he's a favorite around here. Then I had a tag team match for the tag team titles. It was Sideshow defending their titles against the Unholy Alliance, Priest and Tyler, and they had JP with them, and JP he's just a walking billboard for no business being around here. He always gets into shenanigan and causes chaos, interferes and gets into it takes business into his own hands. So luckily, I caught him this time, and I was able to toss his ass out and remind him that he's got no business being inside this ring and getting involved. So that was a moment I had to step in and take care of it, and I rather enjoyed it. And then the last match I had was the Raven debut against Sierra, and yeah, we went over it before, but that was a really fun match to have worked with Raven at camp. All of us, and we've all been in the same exact position, awaiting a debut. So we've all had that look in our eyes of not knowing what to do, but as soon as you hit that curtain, you can't describe it. So to be able to be on the other side of the curtain, and to see that in her eyes was pretty cool, and it was a look of confidence, and it gave me all the confidence in the world that she was going to do all right. So it was cool to experience that debut, and especially with Sierra. She's one of my favorites and mentors, as well as for all of us. We've all looked up to her and learned stuff. She's like an older sister for me. So to be in that match was great. There's always good emotion. So I was a big fan of being able to referee that match. And yeah, Raven ended up getting the win with a roll up, and yeah, it was kind of an excitement moment. Crowd went nuts, and that was cool. I really enjoyed it.
Good. So yeah, Saturday, Brew City Wrestling was good time as always. Love the home games. Sunday, me and your favorite ref Perch drove out to Kimberly for a little ACW Valentine's Vendetta. Another great show. I was a dumbass and forgot my gear, but my loving female, I'm going to give a shout out to, got up from her nap and drove the 2 hours to bring me my gear back. So much love to her.
So, like, hold on. How do you like leave? Like, I'm just trying to like understand. Like, you just jumped in the car, like, all right, off to ACW. Got there, and you're like, I didn't bring a bag.
So here's the thing. I always forget my merch bag when I debut somewhere. So this time, I was like, gotta remember the merch bag. So I grabbed the merch bag, put it in the car, and left.
Oh no.
So
Just
Think from now on, you'll have to make sure you have 2 bags.
yes, that's
Always 2.
all right. No, one step at a time. One step at a time. All right. But very much shout out to her for bringing me my bag so I could make my debut at ACW.
On Valentine's Day, no less.
Yes,
Well, if you,
That's a keeper right there, Doc.
definitely.
well, if you
I
like,
offered you a set of stripes if you wanted to rock some black and white that day.
I don't know if the stripes fit the Doc Simmons persona. Like I won't say I did not think about it, but I was very happy and lucky that she brought that up there.
if you
That was
the gear
that
looked
was-
clean.
Yes, thank you.
I like the white kick pads with the white. I'm like, why are we not doing this soon?
Soon, yes, very soon. Very soon we will be doing that. Very soon we will be doing a couple things. Foreshadowing.
Remember when we foreshadowed Raven? Now here she is.
Yes,
You guys we promised on our foreshadowing.
yes. Listen to our foreshadowing. We were right.
Wrestling storytelling at its best on this podcast.
Yes.
Foreshadowing. No title.
Like we're all about that storytelling. But yeah. How was your time up at ACW, Perch?
Oh man, it was good. Speaking of storytelling, so it was the setting was dark. It was a dim lighted room. The crowd was packed. The arena was hot, and all of a sudden, Doc Simmons comes out. Place goes nuts. It was a match that I got this weekend. ACW had 2 of them, and one of them was Doc Simmons against Ragnar. And yeah, going into what I was saying about being there for Raven's debut match, first ever match, was cool to be on inside the ring for. To be there for any of our debuts at a different company is also awesome and a very cool experience for me. So to be there when Doc debuted for ACW was pretty damn cool. I really enjoyed it, and again, looking into the eyes, we all know each other, and we know what we're trying to achieve. So by looking, you can tell the story that you're trying to tell, and I feel it came across to the fans really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Doc at ACW again, as well as really any of us. I think last time I was at Tanner's Bar for an ACW show, Gunner was there. And he also had very similar, experience where he had an opportunity and got in for a first time in a debut, which was pretty damn cool. Same arena too, that kind of dim lit, nice big ring, good crowd, awesome bar.
I definitely loved the venue. Really enjoyed how lit it was. I think it really played to when they did during Joey Avalon's match. They had some shenanigans at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one of those things where you appreciate this venue is like the perfect place to do this thing. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I really enjoy that venue. It's a great big, kind of gymnasium. So it was good and a good sized ring too. And the other match that I had was the main event, which was Team Swoggle against Team Colucci with Stacy Shadows. And that was a all out hardcore match and involved 8 people, all of which rather large, larger than me to some extent. And it was just kind of keep your head on a swivel, lots of weaponry, pure chaos. Awesome match. Thumbtacks. Definitely felt the thumbtack going in for that final pin, and did not impede the count. Kept it strong through the face of adversity. That's just another part of the business of being a ref.
Yeah, another part of that ref brand.
I have a question about that match because I seen photos, courtesy of MS Pain, Andy, a good homie out there, good fan, always has great photos. There's a photo of Nick Colucci hugging Swoggle. Perch, since you repped it, can you explain like what happened there?
So both teams have been engaged in war for quite some time. Colucci and Swoggle have been known to be a tag team for a long time, and maybe about a year or two ago, they had best friends became bitter enemies, and they split apart. And Swoggle went on to have a team around him and made sure that they could kick Colucci's ass and be one step up on him every step of the way. So it was an ongoing storyline for quite some time, and I was a part of it for a while, which was cool just to be officiating it. And the animosity was real inside the ring, which was great. And that picture of those two hugging was shortly after the match when cooler heads had prevailed. Colucci finally got his hands on Swoggle and finally delivered Death Valley Driver, pinned him dead center of the ring, and for the first time in quite a while, Swoggle sent off his guys to the back, and Colucci sent his guys to the back, and they embraced, had a good old hug for good old time's sake, and I think later on had a drink together. Buried the hatchet. Good long-term storytelling. I enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, it was a very touching moment. Very touching moment.
That's good. Because
Yeah.
for me, I didn't see the show. I wasn't there. I thought the ending was different. I thought maybe Colucci might have turned on his team, got back with tag team move.
No, just tag team move, getting, I guess, back together in a more loving way than that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, really fun time. Great show. Fun time all around. Setting up for big WrestleCon coming up in April, and they're coming down the home stretch.
Yeah, looks to be good. I believe they have all of front row sold out for WrestleCon, and if not, second row is at least sold out or just about. So they're doing good things leading up to their big show. Like Perch said, I made my debut this past Sunday against Ragnar the Ruthless. We wrestled one time a couple weeks ago. We talked about it here on the podcast. It was Country Air versus Valhalla Rising. This was our first one-on-one meeting. I believe we've also talked about how we've known Ragnar for a while. He is making his debut. He's in his first year, I believe, and has been making a little bit of noise up here, definitely as a tag team specialist. But one-on-one, your homie the Go-Hope, liquid sword to the face, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was a good match. Much love to the ACW fans. Think it was a little weird with me coming out first. They really didn't know how to react, but the good old dropkick spinneroonie got them a little excited. They saw how hard I hit, and I think they really enjoyed that. So it was a nice little hard-hitting match between us two that really got the crowd a little excited right before that main event.
Great.
Yep. Well, yeah, great weekend all around, fellas. Great weekend all around. But we will go ahead and move on to the next thing. I posed a question to the podcast this week. What is or who is one wrestler who has not won a world title that you would like to see win a world title, and who would you like to see him win that world title against? I will go.
I'll start off.
Oh, you want to start off? Go ahead, brother.
There's like I have two in mind. One back from like the Attitude Era. I never understood why I love Road Dogg, don't get me wrong, but Billy Gunn was a guy who like just presence. Like the dude's giant, he was in shape, everything was good. Like just a guy I could have seen get to like if you would when him and Road Dogg broke up, could have possibly got to that next level. And I think Billy Gunn could have been a world champ at some point, and I think it'd been great to see him take the belt off of Triple H. Like a little storyline there would have been great to see with Billy.
So yeah, I think it definitely feels like that could have had the Randy Orton Triple H feud, Evolution feud type vibes, but with DX. So maybe it would have been.
Yeah, like, again, even like you just said, like the Evolution, like maybe like having Triple H talk about Evolution, Billy come out and be like, "What about us? Like, what about the guys who helped get you to where you're at now?" Like, that could have been a fun story.
Yeah.
And then more recently, he's starting to get a buzz. Hopefully, he does well in the Elimination Chamber. But I would like to see Cesaro win a heavyweight championship. Like,
You took my deck.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. This isn't
I
one
love
where I
Cesaro.
expect us to have necessarily different answers.
Yeah, I love Cesaro. Everything he does is crisp. Like the guy's never off. I don't see why. Like I get like he's kind of more skinny length, but that guy's just solid muscle. Not sure who I'd like to see him take the belt off of. Maybe if they had Chris Hero come back to be the champ, like it'd be fun to see those guys since they were former tag champs. But I don't really care who it is. I want to see Cesaro as a heavyweight champion.
Awesome. Raven, since he took your pick, why don't you just explain your pick?
Wait, who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh. Well, I would say Cesaro too against Daniel Bryan, because I remember when I was younger and started watching wrestling again, him and Daniel Bryan had one of these like coolest matches, because Daniel Bryan does like that kind of like high flying stuff, and Cesaro is like more of the strength like dude, and he does like the spinning helicopter thing with the legs. Like they tell a good story in the ring. So I was just like, that would be a pretty cool match that Cesaro would win the championship with. And that's basically it, because I don't remember a lot of people.
You just want to see a dope match. There's nothing wrong with that. Anybody else specifically wanted to go next?
Yeah. I figure I'll go here. One that I would love to see win the world title. This comes back to my fandom of pro wrestling. As long as I've been alive, love rooting for a hometown guy, and the guy who we had for many years and still do is Silas Young for Ring of Honor. Good old beer drinking Milwaukee brash fighter, along with Bruiser as they came in. And Silas has had a few chances at that Ring of Honor world title. And one time seeing him against Adam Cole, and he had Bruiser on his side, and they did everything they could, and he just fell short. And that one had me hanging. That was awesome. It was a great match, and pulling for Silas the whole way, and he didn't quite win. Fast forward a couple more years later, Jay Lethal was the champion, and again, good feud back and forth. They're getting the better of each other, setting up for a world title shot. Silas against Jay Lethal, and he just can't quite get the job done. Then I think a couple more years later, more recently, I think last year, he had a chance against Roosh, and and Roosh was just on a tear. We've all seen him, and he's going to be a tough guy to stop. So Silas Young would be the guy who I would love to see win it, and hopefully he gets another chance down the road. And I would love to pull for him again.
Silas definitely another great pick. Like I've said many times, he was somebody who I watched as far as promos on the indie scene. He's done a great deal for all. I don't know about Gunner because I don't know if Gunner's really met him, but for most of this podcast, he has always, he's looked out for us and helped us along the way. So it'd be nice to see him get that big W.
He's one where he's on TV, or anyone from Wisconsin, it's, hey, Pops, Silas and the Bruiser are on TV. Oh, yeah, but stop everything, drop everything. Gotta watch and see what they're up to.
Yeah. Gunner, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go next. Put a lot of thought into this one. I think one of the best wrestlers that have not won a major championship would probably be Jake the Snake Roberts. I think if he held the WWE championship or at some point, would have been amazing. I don't think that he's one of the guys who needed a title to prove how good he was. I think he did just fine without it, but him having that title at some point would have been pretty awesome. As far as who he would have won it against, first one that comes to mind is Hulk Hogan, maybe. That I think would be kind of a cool storyline. Maybe they could use his snake as Hogan's kryptonite, because I feel like Hogan would be deathly afraid of snakes for some reason, and it'd be cool to kind of fit that in there and have him go over Hulk Hogan for the title. But I think an opponent that would give him a great match would be Randy Savage, who would also be a great dude to win the title off of. I bet they'd have a banger.
Definitely. That was actually who I thought of first when you said it was Randy. Good.
Yep. But yeah, Jake the Snake. I love his promos, love his matches. Be sweet if he had the championship.
I think we've said it all. I think we've all said it on here. I think we are all big fans of Jake the Snake. He was definitely one of my first favorite wrestlers when I started watching wrestling.
I'm shocked that I was never won a world title. You just probably know, but Jake the Snake who popped in my head. Rowdy Piper.
Yes, him too. He was almost my second choice.
I always thought about that, how great he had a feud with all these guys and how good of a heel he was. I thought about him, he's never been a champ. I'm not gonna keep dropping names because I don't want to steal a Doc's pick if he has one. But Rowdy Piper was one. I was like, oh wait, that dude was never a world champ either.
Oh, don't worry about that because my pick.
It's from Japan.
Can I throw an honorable mention in there?
Sure.
All right, he did have a title at one point in time, Kane, but I think he deserved many more.
Yeah, when I hear Kane, I don't think championship run. So, like you said, Joe, he had a run in there, but not a distinct one.
Yes, yeah.
I put it more synonymously with tag titles, if anything.
True. Yeah, he was also a great tag champ with a lot of people.
Yeah. So
and Scott Hall was another one who surprisingly never had the big title.
Yeah. That was crazy to think that he probably left WWE when they might have put it on him the year after, had he not gone.
Yeah.
He's a Ramon fan.
Weird how that works out, but he went after that money. Can't be too mad at him. And yeah, don't worry about taking my pick because my pick is the Hurricane, Shane Helms. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the Hurricane gimmick, but I think he should. I think he would have been a great world champion as a little guy. Everybody tends to remember only the Hurricane, but he was the talker when he was a part of 3 Count and is a wonderful talker. He was the longest reigning cruiserweight champion for a while. I don't know if he still is, but when he was in that run, he was a more serious heel gimmick, put on great matches, and was still a wonderful talker as a heel. He didn't have to do the joke gimmick. I think he's a very versatile guy. I think he also had some of the best finishers and names for moves, whether it was the Vertebreaker, Eye of the Hurricane, Nightmare on Helm Street. He had a sweet shining wizard. He could work with anybody. And I think who he should win the title from is it should be a triple threat match with him, The Rock, and Stone Cold. And he should win by finally hitting the double choke slam. I think that's totally
Yeah.
that it should happen. What can I say? I'm a big Hurricane fan. Super underrated. But very nice, guys. I was very surprised that we all came up with, for the most part, different picks. I know, Larissa, we sprung that on you last minute, but I enjoy that we at least all that you provided a different reasoning that is easy to forget. Is sometimes you just want to watch a banger of a match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Storytelling.
Yeah. So as we wind it down, why don't we start talking about what we got coming up? Me, myself, I will be at Zawa on Saturday for Spaceballs, I believe is the name of the show. It'll be at Northside Barbecue down there in Oregon, Illinois. I will be defending the Fireweight Championship against Rip Studwell and the artist formerly known as Bucky Collins, Chip Collins. Be probably the toughest test in my reign as Fireweight Champion, but I'm looking forward to it. Should be a hard-hitting affair. I know Rip Studwell's a nice, strong guy. Chip, another big hoss guy, and you got the greatest heavyweight of all time in there. So it should be a banger. Anybody else want to talk about what they got coming up?
I'll go quick just because mine's boring. I don't have anything coming up. Small chance I might have something this weekend, but as it stands right now, don't got nothing.
Oh, that's not a definite?
It's not a definite. In wrestling, nothing's a definite, Doc.
Oh, I was excited for that. Well, I hope you get that.
Me too.
Or
If I do, I'll post it on the social medias, but right now, won't talk about it until it happens, if it happens.
okay.
I am actually driving this entire podcast. I've been driving to Indiana because I'm going to fly out to Florida tomorrow, and I'm going to ARW Friday. I want to say it's in Melbourne. It's their anniversary show. Looking forward to their semi-main event, which is the Headbangers taking on I don't know what their name is now, but in NXT the Ascension. So that's gonna be fun watching that tag title match. But going to branch out, pay my dues, and hopefully there's a spot in line. They told me bring gear just in case, so I'm going there. And then the following day I'm driving out. Don't know the town. I apologize, but I'm going up for formerly known as Knockout Pro Wrestling. Now it's transformed to Renegade Pro Wrestling. They're having a double header, an 11 o'clock and I want to say 11 and a 2 p.m. show. They have earthquake and tsunami. I don't know, what was it? Typhoon, earthquake and typhoon for a meet and greet. So, I mean, another two guys who big guys tag team. So that's gonna be great to meet them. And once again, was told bring my gear. You never know what happens, but this weekend's more about just branching out, trying to get my name along with always pitching the tag gimmick out there and trying to hit up a new territory. And that's the state of Florida.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Ref Perch, do you have anything coming up this week?
Yeah, I think this weekend is a hop in the car weekend and see where it takes. See what's going on. See what the calendar holds, and hop in the car with someone and see what opportunities come about.
Good stuff. Miss Raddix, breakout star of February 2021. Do you have anything coming up this weekend?
Nope, nothing's coming up this weekend besides just relaxing and still try to get over my debut because it's still a adrenaline rush of thinking about it. It's pretty good, yeah. But otherwise, nothing.
Good. All right. Then we shall go ahead and move on to our last segment. Zach.
The question formerly known as the Mav Boom question of the week, formerly known as possibly making a return soon, the Gunnar Wicks question of the week, now known as your mama's favorite question of the week, hosted by the outlaw Zach Hendricks. I actually had one and slipped my mind with this crazy driving, so let me come up with one on the fly.
Please don't hurt
That's what we do.
Please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, because I literally I had it in my head, and then these roads not great. Uh, if you can work any past wrestler in the 80s, it'd be in why.
Any wrestler from the 80s, who would it be and why?
Yeah, and I'll go first because I'm about to jump off. Mine would be Razor Ramon. No, not was he 80s? Razor Ramon. I'm still.
I mean, I'm
Was he
sure
still
he
Holland?
was wrestling in the 80s. I'm not sure where. He wasn't in the WWE in the 80s, but I'm sure he was wrestling in the 80s.
He was a monster in the 80s. Big Scott Hall, huge guy, huge.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Big mustache too.
What's up?
Big mustache too on him.
Yeah. But all right, I'm about to hop out, guys. I just got back. I got to my place, so I gotta go.
All right. Yes. Be safe. Enjoy Florida. Kick ass. Good luck.
All right, later, guys.
Jeez. All right. So, any wrestler from the 80s? Ooh.
Plain and simple. This would be. Sorry, got one coming in hot here.
Yeah.
It would be 1989 era WCW. I would be on a referee crew along with Tommy Young and Dick Worley, two referees who I look up to big time in the business, and especially in that era, Tommy Young and Dick Worley were on the same crew in that kind of late WCW, late 80s. If I could be on a card with any of the amount of talent that was on those shows, let alone under the learning tree of the referee crew on that show. That's something I often think about. I would love it.
All right. Gunner, I'm very intrigued by your answer. Who would you pick?
I would give the same answer I did for the other question, Jake the Snake Roberts. I think that'd be a sweet matchup, me and him. I am not afraid of snakes, so there's that. But if I had to choose someone else that's not him, maybe like late 80s. Was Undertaker wrestling in the late 80s?
I believe he
As
was.
Undertaker?
No, not as Undertaker.
Okay.
No.
Mean Mark.
Mean Mark? Yep.
Big red.
Mean Mark.
Big redhead. He had Paul Heyman as his manager for a little bit there too. That's where JR always called Undertaker Booger Red when he was the big the biker. Oh, you see it clear as day back in 1989, 88 era when JR is calling him and announcing him back then. I would love to see Gunnar Wicks against Big Undertaker in the 80s as Mean Mark. That would be a great matchup.
Yeah, it's a crazy different look as Mean Mark Calloway.
Yep.
Crazy different.
Instills the same type of fear, though.
I don't know if it's the same type of fear. It's a different type. He's still
You're right.
intimidating presence, but it's different.
He still did the old school move, so that's still like a 15 feet up in the air, flying at you with a a guillotine coming down.
Was it called New School back then?
It's called just school. Yeah, probably.
Take you to school.
Yeah.
Teach you a lesson.
Well, Raven, do you have a pick?
Roddy Piper.
Okay.
Yeah. I see watching wrestling, I always looked up to the heels and not to the baby faces. So like watching Roddy Piper and how he like reacted to everything, he made you like feel for him as a baby face, even though he was still a bad guy. And so I feel like if me and him ever had a match, which will never happen, but if it did, if I was born around that time, I feel like we could tell a great story. And his craziness would definitely destroy me.
Probably.
Yeah.
Would you let him break a coconut over your head?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
She's ready for that weird hardcore stuff.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited for that in the future.
Me myself, I have two answers. One would be Arn Anderson. I'd love to go at him. No, it's a little later in his career, but I still think he was doing it pretty well then, and I think we could have a nice little rough mid-south hard hitting match. That would be fun. And my second pick, because I just think it would be very interesting to wrestle him at this time, knowing where he is going to go, would be Rey Mysterio. Because he would have been young wrestling back then. It just how good he was back then to know that he would be the legend that he is now, I think would just be an amazing. It's probably amazing for a lot of people who got a chance to touch him back in those days.
Yeah, you can only imagine the path that he went through and the people who were all involved on his path to the way up.
Yeah, you start as young as he did, and yes, to see him, be such an influence is. I wonder what it was like then.
Yeah. Just a different era, a different time, and to be as young as he was coming up through then.
Yeah, I think would be very interesting.
Rey Mysterio had a run-in as I was playing WCW Mayhem just before. I was against Billy Kidman. I was Bobby Eaton, and I was hitting him with the Death Valley driver going for the finish. And here comes unmasked Rey Mysterio.
I know people don't like to talk about that, but
and Tony Schiavone calling it. It's mayhem here.
unmasked Ray is not as bad as everybody else tries to claim it to be.
That was the first Ray I remember growing up on because it was WCW, and that was right around the time when I was starting to watch and really get hooked. And yeah, he was unmasked. I knew he was a masked wrestler, but my first intro to Rey Mysterio was him just as the ultimate babyface.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely it was an adjustment when I saw it, but it's still Ray. It was just not wearing the mask, and I mean, yeah, his masks are awesome, so I definitely like him wearing the mask. But it was still Ray. He was still amazing. It was just late WCW. That's not his fault. Not his fault.
When Ray debuted for WWF or WWE, whichever one it was at the time, just that era was so good. And Ray came in with such a bang.
Oh God, his entrance, just the jump out the ground, perfect, perfect. Like, God, like when WWE like leans into somebody's entrance, it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, maybe
I love pyro and entrances. He
yeah,
had that cool little like sparkly burst of whatever when he jumped up. That's pretty neat.
yeah. Hey, I love that Bad Bunny's entrance at Pyro. That was tight.
Yeah.
Pyro's great.
Gunnar, if you had the choice, would you do something along the lines of Kane for Pyro, or would you, not like his thing, but would you use some of his influence for if you had a chance?
For sure, yeah.
Someone's like, "Hey Gunner, we got like $10,000 worth of fireworks that we want to use for your entrance. What do you want us to do with it?"
At first, I'd be like, let me take half of that for my payday, please, because that's significantly more than than normal. But the other 5,000, I would, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't want to copy him exactly, obviously, with a fire coming from the ring post and a burst of fire when he enters. But yeah, something along those lines. I don't know. Maybe throw some fire in there.
Squad gimmick. I think fire could fit the Riot Squad gimmick. I
For
don't
sure.
explosion of fire, but maybe like a steady flame or something.
Yes, it would have to be like, I don't know if this is possible. Can you get black fire? Like, not red fire. I know you can get some like blue flame shooting up there, but if there's any way to make some black flames.
Get those flames that Hulk Hogan had on his boots. That
Yeah,
black.
yeah, maybe instead of fire, lightning. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, black.
Yeah, everyone would love some cool pyro in their entrance.
Yeah.
That and some sweet lighting to go with it. A lot of indie wrestling venues obviously don't have the budget for amazing setups with lighting and big stage and all that stuff. But I think lighting adds a lot to an entrance also.
Oh, definitely.
Mhm.
At Turner, love it when love it over there because they got the sweet lighting set up.
Yes, yeah, they do.
I think this is gonna have to be a topic for next week is craft your dream entrance.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Back when me, Perch, Bruiser, and Aesop went to I forget the promotion's name.
UWE.
Maybe. Yes. They had cool lighting in there. They had the place was like dark.
Good too, yeah.
In the ring, just the ring part was lit up. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went out there with this. That was I like their setup. They had a nice little stage and yeah, the lighting was dope.
Yep.
Yeah, look out next week. That we'll say that's going to be the topic. The thing next week is craft your dream entrance.
I'll start thinking.
Yeah.
I'll study up. I'll be ready next week, Doc.
I mean, hey, and like I don't care about the realism. I don't know if black flames are a thing, but if you want black flames, have black flames. This is your dream entrance. Whatever. Like, I don't care. If you want aliens, bring aliens. I don't care. This is your dream entrance. What would be the WrestleMania entrance for Gunner Wicks?
All right, I'll ponder that, give it some thought. I feel like I want to drop out of the ceiling or to come from the ground.
Wait. This is supposed to be foreshadowing.
I'll think about it. We'll have an answer. Yeah. We'll have an answer later.
But I think unless anybody has anything else, we'll go ahead and take it home. All right.
Oh.
No. All right. Sounds good.
Stay strong.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for joining us. This has been the Take It Home the Take It Home podcast.
I think it's time we take it home.
But the Take It Home podcast. Everyone, be easy. One.
Yeah.